Caspians, does Caspa's price right now represent a power law trend? Does it still follow? All right, that's the question I'll be covering today, along with, macroeconomics, macro charts, all that, all the good stuff. All right, so here we go. Looking at the power law, shout out to Kaspa Power Law. He's on X sharing these posts, and very interesting. All right, 83% regression fit. Okay, but that's not it. All right, I want to look at this chart here. This chart is extremely interesting. This is a comparison between Bitcoin's power law with respect to Caspa, like comparing the R fit. The R squared basically represents how good does the trend fit a power law. How good does Caspa's price or Bitcoin's price fit to a power law trend? That's essentially what it is, a 75% fit. It fits to a 75% rate. Look at this. Bitcoin in its early days, this was what, 630 days in after launch, like almost 2 years, something like that. Bitcoin's power law was at 75% accuracy. Not that accurate, to be honest. Not even Caspa's power law has ever reached this low. Caspa power law is currently around 85% accurate. Bitcoin's power law at this exact day where Caspa is today, the same age of Caspa, it was just a slightly higher, 86%. But we have to keep in mind that Caspa is experiencing right now the bottom, the absolute bottom of its bear cycle. Okay, this right now, Caspa has been, the bull run happened. It wasn't a bear cycle. Well, the bull run happened. It was consolidation phase right up here for Caspa, and now we're back down. Or this whole point right here, like look at it. It's pretty clear it's a rising low. Obviously, it's a rising low. And if we can bounce from here, that would be huge. All right, I'm not trying to let my expectations down, keeping them high, but I'm really looking forward. I'm really hoping that we bounce. It's going to be huge. And it does look like we are bouncing. Look at this, clear bounce. Of course, we need time to solidify this, but this was an excellent price action from here and across the crypto industry as well. I mean, look at Caspa with respect to Bitcoin right now. I mean, it's a floor, an absolute floor, low of the low. But what do I love about this chart is that this is bottoming out. This is creating a valley. This is what traders, investors love. You buy, when the valley forms, okay, when you have the peak, that forms the top. When you have the valley, that forms the bottom. The bottom is forming. This is a consolidation phase. This is consolidation phase for the bull run, turning into a bear market, a bear cycle. This is a consolidation phase moving from the bear cycle into a bull cycle. We're going to see much higher highs for Caspa in I especially think in the new year. All right, what's going to happen now in the new year? I think it's going to be a little bit more volatile, maybe retest up to 10 cents, even up to like 15 cents. I would love to retest all-time high before the new year, but I'm not trying to have such high expectations for the new year. Okay, we need to get back up. We need to reclaim even 12 cents. We need to reclaim this. Once we get that boring price action out of the way and confirmation that, okay, this is the breakout, we just reclaimed 12 cents and we're going higher at 15 cents. I mean, that's absolute confirmation of what's happening for Caspa as the most undervalued asset in the industry, undervalued, most superior technology. Of course, it's going to go higher, especially with VPROGs, zero knowledge proof. I mean, this development is not even integrated yet. Okay, zero knowledge proof is essential for the decentralization of Caspa on the L2, and even with the L1, it'll be able to have VPROGs, but VPROGs require zero knowledge proof. So it's all required for the ultimate evolution of Caspa. Dagnite will be that ultimate evolution of Caspa. Okay, once we see all of this development finally on chain, on mainnet, then I believe we're going to see Caspa reach the highs that we've always been dreaming of. Of course, it's going to reach it without any doubt. Others doing good, this type of thing, like, who knows what happened? Who cares what happens? Crypto's moving upward, and that couldn't be clearer. I mean, look at this. Caspa with respect to gold. Again, this is a quadruple bottom. Down to here, it's even below the point where it was at 5 cents. Caspa at 5 cents, it's even more undervalued with respect to gold. So you already know this is a buying opportunity. And take a look at the stock market as well. Okay, so do I think, and this all ties back to the power law, by the way, because when we're looking at the power law right now, we're seeing that Caspa is at a very much a low. I mean, 83% accuracy. Yeah, it's Bitcoin at this time period was at around 86.5 accuracy. But you have to keep in mind, Caspa is at an extreme low point right now. That means when we finally enter that bull cycle for Caspa, which I think can absolutely be independent from the rest of the market, then we can see Caspa, the regression fit for the power law, hold much closely to its fair value, even reaching a high value perhaps. Like here's Bitcoin right now. It's pretty much at a fair value, 95% fit. Fair value is actually a little lower than the current price, but it's incredible. And Caspa at this early stage, it's doing phenomenal. It didn't even experience. So this was the low for Bitcoin. I guess this is now the low for Caspa, and with respect to the power law. So we're going to see how well this actually fits in the coming. It's going to need time in the coming year. But it's very exciting because the global M2 is continuing to move up, and that is the ultimate indicator for prices across the market, because as the global liquidity increases, all that money needs to go somewhere. Literally, it needs to go somewhere. And that's why we see the stock market all-time high. Gold as well, all-time high. Broke out, literally broke out. Ridiculous. This is crazy, and it's good to see. When you look at these all-time highs, and it's like, how in the heck how is this sustainable? Look at it with respect to gold. Here's the stock market with respect to gold. It's not even at an all-time high. It's basically just chilling. So that goes to show when you have so much global money supply, the fiat currencies, so much money being printed, it goes somewhere. And where else does it go? It goes in assets, hard assets, especially gold, Bitcoin, and it's going to, of course, come into Caspa. Just give it time. It's currently experiencing it. Caspa runs on its own time. And speaking of Caspa, man, I got something really, really cool to show you guys. Check this out. This is a Caspa coin. Oh my gosh, it's literally glitching me out. It's glitching me out. Here's a Caspa coin. Check it. Yo, that's wild. Okay, this Caspa coin, let me show you the shop. Shout out to Burke. Okay, he's got a whole Caspa shop for, it's cascoin.shop. I want you guys to come check this out. Here, check it. Cascoin.shop. Check it out. And this is literally a handcrafted, hand molded. It's heavy. And it's like, it's rustic looking. Here, let me show you a little bit more. It's really rustic looking, and it's smithed, ironed, and everything. It's all handmade. Let me here. The site explains it all. He has this whole about section right here. Click it, and it's basically a physical Caspa coin, hand poured using a lot of propane and cutting, sanding, buffing, all this stuff. Like it's actually wild. Check it out. Here he goes. This is the one that I have. He sent it to me as a gift. That's so kind of him. So awesome. So, I mean, this is actually crazy. And he supports Caspa as payment. This is honestly the coolest looking Caspa coin I've ever seen in my time here in Caspa. And so you already know this is honestly epic. Like literally, when is the Federal Reserve going to be start minting these things? Like check this out now. So this one's actually silver. So you have a Caspa coin. This one's copper tin alloy. Now this one is a silver, literally 99% silver. And look how good that looks. And on the back here, this says no, I think this says silver. Yeah, I think that says silver. And then the words, I think it says the Ezra 7-16. It's like that one verse where it refers to something like do as you wish with all the money you have with the gold and silver, do as you wish with it. It's basically, in that verse is engraved on the block DAG as well. It's right here. It says right here. Ezra 7:18, inscribed on the Genesis block of Caspa. Caspa is the ancient Aramaic word for silver and money, so that's where this comes from, the Caspa name. And now this Caspa coins, I mean, he's hand making these. He has no idea how much demand there's going to be. but this is epic. He even has now payments integrated with his site, so you could send Caspa here, and it'll all work out. But if it doesn't, if it's down, you could just send him an email or a DM on X, send the payment, and yeah, send proof that you did the payment. So this is honestly super cool. Give it a check it out. I think it's very reasonable, very reasonably priced and all that. Honestly, sick. And I think I may even have to get this silver coin. It's honestly awesome. Really, really cool. The fact that it's also paid in silver. So check it out. Honestly, big shout out to Burke. This guy is putting out work. Yeah, he may not be a web developer. He may not be a coder, helping out Caspa with smart contracts or whatever, but he's doing what he can. And, this is so cool. This is honestly so cool. This is worth a billion quarters, gonna be honest. And the fact is that it's like actually has a lot of weight to it. It makes it so much cooler to like hold, and yeah, it's awesome. Handmade again, like, yeah. All right, so let's go back to the video now. So global M2 skyrocketing, gold skyrocketing, stock market skyrocketing, Bitcoin. I mean, honestly, it's not yet at all-time high, but it's kind of like approaching all-time high. It's like 100. It went over 115,000. So yeah, and if you're fading Caspa and you're like, oh my God, Caspa's not moving, you got to really, really look big picture. Right here, this little yellow dot is representing, I think, like 170 week or something like that, moving average. So basically Caspa right now, it's extremely fairly priced at its deep, deep macro average. It's going to absolutely move upward. This 12-cent range is very fair, in my opinion. Very fair short-term price action to reach 12 cents. Check out on the monthly time frame as well. I mean, it's just beautiful, this consolidation period, creating this floor-like value. And of course, you look on it with respect to gold, and it literally is a floor. People that are fading Caspa, they just give up and they're selling to the larger wallets. They're selling to institutions. Institutions are absolutely in Caspa. They're coming to Caspa, and it's like you literally have proof of that. You have people like check this out. Big names, JH141. He's talking about Caspa DAT, a digital asset treasury. It's a strategy stock. I don't know where he's going to list this stock, but digital asset treasury is basically using Caspa as a reserve for traditional finance. And they're talking with people. They're absolutely talking with people and banks and all that. Like, this is insane. I think Dark Lord made a whole post about it. Yeah, like check this out. Investment bank. They're talking with real people, real big money people. Disclose the Maxim Group. The only current public meeting I can disclose. I don't know. This guy might have some inside info, but it's basically an investment bank that has recently invested $500 million into Solana scaling solutions. Wild. So all this big money is seeing this as an opportunity, not only to be early, but to be early in the leading best technology in the industry. 2022 fair launch proof of work, 6,000 times faster than Bitcoin, backed by 12 years of academic. I mean, literally backed by the frontier of crypto research. You have Nick Szabo. That guy, literally, he was the person that led to the creation of Bitcoin. Satoshi was absolutely inspired by Szabo's research, and he took from that a lot of things. Even smart contracts itself was inspired and was largely developed from the initial research of Nick Szabo. And what does he do? He comes back after a 4.5-year hiatus, 4.5-year slumber. He comes back and almost immediately compliments the Caspa block tag. You don't, like, that doesn't happen unless he knows something. He definitely knows something, and he's asking those good questions as well. Like, he's asking good questions, and he got even better answers. How about basically Caspa nodes, and Jonathan comes in with a absolute grand slam, and talking about basically to study Dagnite. Study the Dagnite upcoming protocol on Caspa. We're talking about 2026 is estimated the ETA for release of Dagnite. We'll see exactly when, sometime in 2026, absolutely. They're really trying to get that in. Like honestly, I think they're trying to do their best to get Dagnite and probably VProgs and zero knowledge proof might come sooner. I heard Michael Sutton, he wanted to get Dagnite and zero knowledge proof integrated on mainnet at the same exact time. And what is zero knowledge proof? The zero knowledge proof opens up the door for VProgs as well. It would make sense all three to launch on mainnet at the same exact time. Like that would I would be surprised if there's not a 10x in price like following in the months following of that, because this is the end game for crypto. It's literally the end game. Cas nodes, I mean, the nodes on Caspa are actually it's pretty insane. We had the first node in Africa online. The number of nodes, like my last video, I noticed there was like what 280 something like the 200s amount of nodes online, and now there's like over 400. If this thing's gonna load for me, where's the cast nodes? Here's the castnodes.com website. Let's see if that wants to load. Welcome to cast nodes. So we got a ton of peers. This is all from like private, I think, private nodes. A lot of peers going out there. Online public nodes. There's no way I don't think this is like accurate. Cast.fyi says a much larger number. Currently unavailable. Yo, that stinks. Because I keep seeing the nodes like increasing. I think I saw something like over 400, maybe 450 nodes on Caspa. Yeah, on Caspa mainnet. Going like public nodes. And it's so funny too. Michael Sutton literally trending. I don't think he's trending anymore, but he was trending for like at least a good hour or two on X. Fact that he's trending is wild. The hecking GOAT. The GOAT in position. Cast all-time high. Take the hint. The man is standing on the absolute peak of a mountaintop. This literal peak. If you don't think that's a hint, like I'm telling you, GOAT is in position. He's on the peak. He's basically saying Caspa's going to reach its all-time high. Caspa's going to reach a peak real soon. You know, lock in. When we say Michael Sutton is the GOAT, we do not mean rock climbing. So funny from this guy. I saw he made a comment and I'm like, this is hilarious. I'm going to tweet about it. But man, this is sick. Honestly, sick. Caspa's moving back up. You already know. You already know what's up. So do I believe Caspa's following the power law? Yeah. I mean, the thing is, nothing can like follow. The power law isn't like a thing that, it's like a trend that things can trend towards. It can follow. Nothing absolutely 100% follows the power law. That's impossible. You can't do that. But to have a following the trend to a certain percent of accuracy, that's saying a lot. And you see what happened to Bitcoin during this whole period of, I mean, 12 years, 13, how long has been Bitcoin been online for? So for it to be following this well really says a lot with regards to adoption and everything, because the power law represents like a mathematical trend that also relates to growth in terms of nature. You could see this growth across very natural I guess growth spans within everything. I don't know, things in nature, things in population growth as well. The trend that can refer to a lot of different things, but in crypto and in finance, Bitcoin, it takes it home, takes it absolutely home. I think Bitcoin and Caspa are the only ones that follow to this high accuracy level. So Caspa, yeah, it's a little bit down. We got some FUD from this guy who I don't know if he created the power law trend, but he does a lot of charts with it. I forget his tag, but C something, and he was like, oh, I don't think Caspa follows the power law anymore, just because it's at 83% or a regression fit. We're at a low right now. You have to keep in mind we're at a low. Everything, even Bitcoin, experienced a lower low than this, and we are at the bottom of basically the bottom of Caspa's cycle right now, and it's moving up. The bottom's in, so we'll see what happens, especially in the coming year. That's where I'm most excited. I literally don't care at all what happens to Caspa's price until Dagnite, until VProgs, until zero knowledge proof, until that all gets released, I could care less about Caspa's price. Going to be really honest, brutally honest. People that are like looking short term, sorry, but that's not the look. You have to wait for all this development to release, and then we're gonna have things that are going to be very exciting. Okay, lending protocols aren't even released on mainnet yet, not that I know of. So we have a lot of cool ecosystem, a lot of cool platforms out there, dexes, and swapping on a dex, farming on a dex, staking. But this is just the start. Okay, this is laying down infrastructure. You already know I was showing last stream how I was farming a little bit, but honestly, I don't suggest farming, because farming is good for if the price of Caspa and Nacho, for example, that they rise and fall at literally the same percent. If Caspa rises a little slower, then it would have just been better just to hold everything in Nacho rather than farming. You're going to be losing out, especially when you look at it from that angle. And permanent loss is very real if the one asset deviates from the other one. So that's why, yeah, honestly, I guess I'll continue farming just to see how it goes. But probably in the coming, I don't know, weeks or something, especially when I don't know, things look like it's going to blast off, I'm going to probably move the farmed asset, the farmed tokens into just Nacho, because that's just the moneymaker. That's the leverage of Caspa. It's a safe leverage. You're not going to have any liquidation. You're not going to have any funding fees. You're not going to have any risks involved if you just HODL the max leverage, the leading meme coin. That's how it works. And of course, Nacho has developed its huge ecosystem, its own identity, apart from apart from the co-author of Ghost Dag. So Nacho has its own community, its own identity. It's massive. The fact that they had the IRL event, Caspa Experience, such a huge success. Cat Bridge as well, huge success. And the audit is coming online in sometime in October, early October, I believe. Cat Bridge doing amazing, and all their products that are also lined up. CatScan is going to undergo like another major upgrade, and Cat Pool also doing phenomenal. Nacho is just set up to win, basically long term. All of the creators, or at least all the active creators, I think like the 5 of them or something like that, they're all doxed. When you have people that are doxed, they're in it for long term. They're not going to just run away or whatever. So when you have a team that's doxed, they're in it for the long run, and you already know. So that's why I love Nacho. And yeah, of course, there's all these other tokens out there. Everything. I mean, everything. If they're doing it, if they're building on Caspa, providing actual like utility, or if they're marketing Caspa in their own way, it's all adding value to Caspa. Look at this, okay? Go to cas.fyi and check out the L2 networks and total value locked. Oh my gosh, it's increasing a lot. Just not like a few days ago, maybe like yesterday, it was just at $500,000. Not half a million, $500,000. Now it's at basically another 200,000 got locked in. Total value locked represents the confidence level in not just these projects, but in Casplex as well. So the fact that Casplex doesn't even have zero knowledge proofs integrated yet, because zero knowledge opcodes need to be released on L1 first. Once those get released, Casplex can integrate that. And that's going to be able to make Casplex actually run in a very decentralized way without requiring a bridge that you have to trust, like for a curve, for example. And of course with Nacho Bridge, Nacho Bridge, it uses 5 independent relayers with basically multi-sig. It's very interesting how it works. Very good security, as good as you can get, and before, like pre-zero knowledge proof. So that's what's up. So like if you're going to be using these bridges, I don't suggest using bridging all your assets or whatever. But keep in mind that it's just going to get the security and the decentralization is going to drastically improve in the coming whenever the zk opco is released, which should be absolutely by the new year. Maybe it's going to happen. They're going to release Q4 2025. I don't know, or maybe Q1 2026. So look out for that. So just keep in mind, this is infrastructure. This is underlying infrastructure for DeFi adoption. DeFi adoption is going to bring those fees, those gas fees for the miners. And right now, like people were saying, oh, there's not much fees going to miners right now on the L2. Yeah, because the L2 is just, there's not much activity going on there to really bring those fees onto to the miners. There's not really a competitive fee market going on right now because there's just not that much, there's not enough um, people using the L2 right now to make it to fill up these Caspa blocks. So what's the suggestion? Well, the suggestion is to have like an underlying, very basically raising the minimum wage for these miners. So that's a suggestion, a very interesting one. And if basically these miners will have like a minimum wage, but the miners could accept a wage below the minimum wage. Of course, that's not optimal for them, but they could do that. And that'll allow like maybe smaller miners, for example, to get their whatever, secure the fees, the block rewards, while for the majority, especially for the larger pools, they can have increased rewards on average for all their blocks mined. Very interesting. I mean, that's just like rough analogy, basically raising the minimum wage for miners. Um, but yeah, a lot of discussion going on, and you could see this discussion as well on Kaspa Q&A. This is a new site made by Ori Newman, an OG Caspian and researcher. So here's really cool. It kind of reminds me of Reddit, but basically Caspa centric. So that's awesome. Some really good questions here. Like absolutely some great questions. So I'll definitely want to make an account here and see how it's going, because it seems like a lot of the core research questions, like legit questions that, for example, Nick Sabo would absolutely love, especially he would love the answers to them. This is the place to go, I think. So definitely check this out, and yeah, stay updated on Caspa because so much is happening, so much is coming. So yeah, basically keep an eye out, and until then, peace out.